This channel is supported by my online fishing courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, as well as my books, and you can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon. Yeah, good morning. All right, my first northeast trip, and yeah, you know, it's been cold, so I'm actually in an area I normally wouldn't be starting the season. Look at this beautiful sunrise, gorgeous morning. Got a couple ideas, things to try. We'll see. Oh, my thing says 56 degrees. That would be nice if that was accurate. So, all right, we'll see what happens here. Let's start that northeast season. Okay, just pulling into position at the Smith Point Bridge. And yeah, I'm going to say more about why I'm fishing this particular area. But hey, before we get to the fishing, I've got something I want to show you quickly. It's really a time saver and it's very useful. Okay, before every single fishing trip I make, I go to 3 different websites to do the planning. I go to NOAA for tides, Windfinder for the wind, and weather.com for the weather. Now I can go to one free site and it's got everything I need. And that's what I want to show you. This is a free tide and weather system from SaltStrong. Okay, so let's take a closer look because this is excellent. It's a time saver, and I won't spend much time on this because I want to get to the fishing. Okay, I already have favorites set up for areas that I use a lot, but let's scroll down and take a look at zooming in on the map. So I'm already zoomed in here on eastern Long Island, so let's go in and we'll take a look at Greenport. And what we'll do is go to where we can expand this and get a look at the current the upcoming tides and weather and so forth. So, all right, at a glance, you know, we see the tides, very important. We see the moon phases all the way down. But if we click on something here, we get this nice expanded view, and it gives us everything we need. And we've got the cloud cover, the precipitation, the wind direction, the wind speed, gust, all of this in there. Boy, this is everything that I look at when I go at these other sites. Plus, of course, we have the tides. And, you know, not just the time of the tides, but, you know, we can see the tide curve, which is very important. Okay, besides the tides and weather, you have something that they call a bite score. You see these numbers down here. And, you know, they kind of make sense. If you look here around the new moon, these scores, you see them here roughly 7.5. But if you scroll farther into the future around the quarter moon, yeah, they're much lower. And that's what you would expect. You have less occurrence on those moon phases, and typically the bites are stronger with the stronger currents. Now, if we look at one of these expanded, we'll see that they actually expand this out to hourly to say when the better bite scores are. So it's interesting. I mean, it's a little bit of a guideline. Some of this actually makes quite a bit of sense. You know, you look at these high bite scores that are happening around daybreak, turn of the tide. Yeah, all right, it makes some sense. You got the beginning, the outgoing, got some higher bite scores. Okay, so this is a really nice system, and it's completely free. There's no ads or pop-ups, and if you use the commercial sites, you know how annoying those things can get. So at the top of my video description, I will have a link on how to get this, and you can just use it, and it's a time saver. All right, let's get on to the fishing. Okay, so prior to 2017, I lived about maybe a half an hour from here, 25 minutes, and I worked about 15 minutes from here. So I fished these areas a lot, and then I, in 2017, moved out to Greenport on the eastern North Fork, and that's where I do the bulk of my fishing. So I bet I haven't fished this bridge in 10 years. And then there's a spot to the east that we're going to go to that, yeah, I probably haven't fished that in like 7 years or so. But the problem I'm having right now is, you know, I just got out to eastern Long Island from Florida within the last week or so, and the waters are really cold out there, and there's just no life, or no life to speak of. We are going to jump in the boat actually after this segment, and we're going to go fish eastern Long Island, and we're going to catch some fish for sure. I'm going to be with Captain John Halkias. So, but yeah, this is my first trip, just trying to break the ice, catch some fish. So what I'm doing is I'm spending some time around the bridges. I did nothing, not a bump, but the plan was I have an area to the east, quite a ways down, that I fished for a bunch of years. And look at this ahead of me. I've got a couple of fish on top. This is usually a pretty narrow tide window for about 2 hours where they hit here. Looks like I'm pulling in just in time. Okay, I switched over to top water. I have not seen another fish come up. Clearly, with this kind of visibility, man, you could see a fish quarter-mile away. It was just a couple fish that were up there, but it was great to see. Now, normally when I fish this, I'm not really looking for top water. I'm fishing some funky bottom contours here, and I'm bucktailing fish off the bottom. So, but hey, these fish popped up. I'm definitely going to throw on them. Oops, something caught my eye as I was going to get up on that bottom structure that I want to bucktail. See it there? A little out of reach. Of course, yeah, now I'm going to just run it over completely. But it's a floater. I'm going to get back to it. Goodness, as if I don't have enough lures. But yeah, I'll take it. Okay, Daiwa Salt Pro. Good lure. Now, somebody had a bad knot. All right, moving up on the area where I'm going to have some dips and rises and everything else on the bottom, and once I get the current pushing a little bit harder, there should be some fish stacking up on those. By the way, I'll have links to all the gear in the video description. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. All right, if you watch the fish finder here, I think you can read near the bottom. You're going to see some marks appearing right there. Yeah, so that's what I'm counting on, is that I'm going to have some fish over structure. So the idea here is that's a 1 ounce bucktail. Let it go to the bottom, make some cranks, let it settle back down, touch the bottom, move it along. Yeah, that works here for me, or it has in past years. Yep, let it settle. But keeping my eyes open for more surface fish, and there they are to the left. Just a couple little disturbances. That's a small dark matter pencil. That thing is deadly this time of year. Get out of here. Oh. Ah, definitely a fish following it there. Come on. Come on, man. Yeah, but I'm thinking I've got about an hour and 45 minutes of good tide ahead of me. There's a few fish around I'm going to catch. All right, just going to try snap jigging through the rip. But then things are going to kind of go wrong. Hello? I have my truck there.
Okay, you gotta go move it.
Oh, I'm like a mile and a half away in a kayak.
I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to move it or they're gonna tow it.
All right, so am I in the way of somebody? I mean, there's a...
Yes, there is a park ranger there right now.
I mean, look, I got my green key card on there. It wasn't marked not to park. I mean, if I parked in the trailer spot, that was going to be an issue too, right? But anyway, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
I'm gonna call the ranger and tell him I got a hold of you and then you're responding, okay?
Yeah, thanks. Okay, I'm not sure if you could hear the other end of the conversation, but if I don't move my truck, they're going to tow it. There's a park ranger right next to me. They are going to wait for me. You see that barge going underneath the bridge, which is now in the raised position? This is all part of an offshore wind farm being built, and apparently they're running the cable through the parking lot of the Smith Point Marina, from what I can tell. And it's a big construction zone, and I tried to do the right thing this particular morning, but you're going to get to see how this plays out. But I'm kind of upset because I've only got so much good tide to work, but I can't have my truck being towed either. So, all right, I'm going to have to deal with this. I had a long ride. I've lost time. I'm going to lose more time.
What are we doing, my friend?
Well, I'm not fishing.
Well, you're also in the way of all this stuff. Can you tell me how you got in here?
That it was wide open. There was no door on it, and also no signs. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I was trying to.
Yeah.
No. There was no sign that said I couldn't come in. And these things, parking mark. What I was trying not to do is hose up trailer spots.
Oh. Yeah. No, there is a sign there. It says authorized vehicles only. If it was open still, I mean, there's a lot of construction going on around here. I'm going to ask you to just move the truck, all right, and put it over here. If you're going to put more signs, if it was open, then I got to give you that.
Look, I mean, I was trying to do the right thing.
No, that's why I'm saying. I'm not going to write a say on this.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you calling me.
Car or anything.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they're doing a trench right here.
So
right now.
what's going on here? Is this the wind farm?
Yes.
Yeah. Whether we like it or not, it's going on.
And you have, what do you call it? You here last night? Came in? What time did you come in?
5:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
And
No, 6 o'clock. It was sunrise already.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah.
because in the park here, overnight, to go fishing, right, you need the parking permit.
Well,
You have a green
at 6,
sticker on
I've got the green key on there.
Yeah, but the green key is not the thing. You need what do you call it? A parking thing for the county.
Even at 6 a.m. I mean, it's
No.
sunrise.
No, it doesn't open up till 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Where's that stated?
In the rules.
How about you go out front and you
8 a.m.
Yeah, on this certain times of the year. You gotta check when it does.
Yeah.
Okay, to be clear, down near the bottom, the April 1 to December 31, 4 a.m. to midnight. Look, I checked this stuff out before I park. I was okay. All right, so just so I know.
You can park here as of now. See where these parking spots are here?
Cones.
Take up trail. You
Where
need
the
to
cones are, you can park anywhere down there.
All right.
Okay?
There's so few trailer spots, I don't want to screw somebody,
I know. It's all good. I don't want to give you any time. So just do what you got to do. Get it out of here. We're all good.
So you want to talk about bad luck? You see those cuts where the wet spots are? They are literally digging the trench this day. I can tell you, I was here last summer, and this construction was going on. Today is the day. The day that I fish is the day that they're cutting the trench 10 feet behind my truck. So, okay, here's what I want to point out because it's going to come up with the officer. On my dash is a card, all right, and we're going to get to that. All right, and so they put me in the trailer spots. 2 reasons I didn't want to park here. I didn't want to take a trailer spot, number one. But number two, I don't have a launch permit. I am legal to park where I park, but not in the trailer spot where they told me to park. So another thing is, you see that? No way, that was not there when I pulled in. I looked for signs. I wasn't going to pull in if it's told me not to go in. Ugh. Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
thanks for,
Okay. I'm just going to put it in my book. It's already taken
Thanks
care
for
of.
calling.
Yep.
How did they get my number?
Well, I got your household number. You put everything on top of your dash, so I was able to find you, which was awesome, the way you displayed everything.
Well, see, I was really trying, you know.
I can tell. That's why we're not doing anything more with this.
All right, have a good one.
Take care.
And to the right, looks like the cable conduits that eventually get out to the wind turbines. So, all right, well, look, everybody was obviously as nice as they could possibly be. It was bad luck on my part that today's the day they cut the parking lot for the trench. But yes, everybody was wonderful. They waited for me. It took me quite a while to get back. Hey, look, I'm going back to the grounds. Unfortunately, now that I'm going into the wind, I've definitely lost more than an hour and 15 minutes, but come on, it's a long way from my house now. I'm here. I wanted to fish, so I've come back, and I'm just setting up on my first drift right now. The conditions are definitely much changed. And for people who live in Suffolk County, that was my Suffolk County green key I left on the dashboard. I left it turned up, identification up. They were able to use the ID number to track down my home number. Of course, I'm not home, but my number was forwarded to my cell phone when I was in Florida, and I forgot to unforward it. Therefore, the call bounced through my house to my cell phone. I don't normally pick up the phone when I'm on the water. I just happened to do it this time. So I had some bad luck, and I guess I had some good luck, but I've lost time. All right, in a few seconds, I'm going to hear some popping sounds, and I actually thought they were on the shore, like somebody like target shooting or something. It wasn't that. Holy shit. I actually thought they were gunshots. That freaking bass blowing up. There we go. Here's my first hookup of the year. He's not tiny. Yeah, not tiny. Not a bad fish. first one. Oh, God. So, yeah, look at that. I dropped my first fish of the season after all that. And I spent another 2 hours here. Plugs, bucktails. Never saw another splash. Never had a touch. I knew I was out of the tide window, but I was just kind of hoping. So, yeah, having to run in and move the truck, that killed me. I mean, I lost the best part of the tide. There were a few fish before. There were fish right as I got back, but yeah, it didn't work out. Hey, don't forget, we're going to jump into the next day right after this. But yeah, this was just a weird day in some ways. I mean, my camera's still on as I'm unloading and stuff here, and yeah, another weird thing coming up. You gotta be kidding! Come on, guys. Jeez. At least get it wet. Do you see what I see? You gotta be kidding. Tsunami sand eel. Okay, the next morning, yes, heading out with Captain John Halkias, the Eastern Peconic System, and yeah, we don't have any good reports. This is scouting. We're going to try a couple of different things. We're going to fish for bass and blackfish, and hopefully do something. We got pretty nice flat water. So we're starting off at one of the rips where we do very, very well in the springtime. Early. This is an early spot. And we're just working our way along the rip. We'll do some bucktail casting into this. We've got, this is incoming current. There's definitely enough here to catch fish if there were fish around. We don't have a lot of time, but what we're going to do is going to work the last of this incoming, and then we're going to fish through slack, or the slower currents and slack. We'll fish for blackfish, and then we're actually going to jump back to this area and fish some ebb. So we've got a good plan. And to give you some idea, so this is the 25th of April. The previous day was the 24th. Last year, John and I were here on the 26th, and we had good fishing. We had slot bass. We had one over slot bass on, and we had good action, bucktail, spoons, saw some fish on top. There were birds. It was lively. So, that's in our mind. Now we're moving now.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to find that happy medium, 9 feet. Nothing marking though. Nothing.
Yeah, well, they're going to be right as we go over, so. Well, at least they should be right as we go over the ledge, but they're not. We're seeing like nothing, so we didn't spend much time here, and we went right over to the Blackfish grounds.
You gonna keep a blackfish?
No. Yeah.
Yep, well, they're down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, you know. Here he comes.
Oh, it's okay.
Does feel okay, to be honest with you. I realize it's in the current with an 8-ounce sinker, but
Right.
I still think it's got potential. You know,
Same one you called on.
one I caught last year.
Days ago,
Yeah, he's short, but
I got the ruler. I measure. Just it looks 15 something again, but the ruler's right there. There's a.
where's your de-hooker?
Good question. Oh, I got one in here.
Oh,
Is it good?
it actually is good, yeah.
All right. Here's the de-hooker.
Yeah.
Your favorite brand? What's it called?
Uncle Mo's
Where can you find it?
on Amazon.
These are great inexpensive de-hookers. I'll have a link in the video description.
Very good, very good, very good. Yeah, and I mean, no waiting, really, you know, maybe 5-6 seconds.
I'm gonna go in front of you. So
Oh yeah, no, we have to
I'm
fish
going
that
under
side,
the
I think.
boat.
Yeah, we gotta fish that side.
Oh, shit. He had it in its mouth. I just lifted to feel the bottom, and it was pulling back on me, but I did. There he goes.
Come on, catch the fish, catch the fish. Oh, come on. There you go, come on. Yes!
No.
Oh, come on. Oh, good.
You'll get him. Hey, I caught some of the reef. Look at how he bit. How does that happen?
Yeah. It's like eating the pizza without the crust.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
He bit all
Yeah.
around it.
Right.
So John's using an 1.5-ounce jig. I just went from an 8-ounce sinker down to a 4-ounce because the current is definitely slowing.
It surprises me after we miss fish like that, that when you put down, you would think it should be instant, and it's not,
It
you know?
might still be, a little lethargic.
Oh, I'm sure they are, but... Oh,
Never
there we
mind.
go.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about it later.
Right.
There you go.
Not as big in quotes as the last one.
Yes. I tell you what you caught was the size
Of what
that
you were
was
getting yesterday?
95% of our keepers were that size. And we didn't have to drive $700.
John fished blackfish in Maryland the previous day, so that's the conversation.
Good bite?
No.
I want to make sure there's more than 2 down there.
Probably likely little fish doing it.
That's very. I think that's probably what it is, because there's no way you're missing that many.
I got it.
All right. Yes. There you go.
All right. Not a keeper, but I'm also not. What's that de-hooker?
And I just dropped my crab in the water.
Oh,
Oh, here. I got a de-hooker for you. Here.
oh, there it is. Okay.
All right. Yes. There you go. Ooh, better one, huh?
And I don't know if it's gonna pass, but so I swam around a little. Boy, I tell you though, they only an ounce difference between the 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went from an 1.5-ounce jig down to a 1/2 ounce. It was a very small tide window to do that. and he got 2 immediately. So I'm going to switch over to a jig now. I was waiting for him to catch on a jig.
There you go.
No, I just hooked him underneath. Oh, wow. Huh. Yeah, wow, look at that. Huh. Oh, boy. There you go. Yeah, he was all over that thing.
Not a keeper, but
Anything feels good this time of year.
absolutely.
Ah.
Here, you go to the corner.
Well, I gotta work on a fish here. And I'm actually, you know what, I'm using 10 and a 1 ounce jig, so there we go. Just go down.
Did you say 10? Have you
I
started?
have 10 pound test, 10 pound test.
You eventually started using 10, not 15?
Was too.
It's been a while.
Oh no, I've used 10 for Blackfish.
Oh, okay. It was just
Yeah.
fluke. That was
Right.
I had the.
There you go. Better?
No.
No.
Just I'm awkward this way because I reel righty. I'm better.
Oh, come on, that might be.
No.
Ah.
It would.
Yeah.
It would reinforce the camera. The battery died.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Not long.
Come on. At least you know that the crab is still on with the jig, you know.
Yes.
You feel that clearly. Hey. Went over to you.
Take it.
Yep.
See the current moving now too.
Yeah. I guess we could go anytime, right?
You tell me.
I don't know. I
I'm
mean,
good with both types of fishing, so.
have you ever caught bigger ones here?
No, probably not more than 17 inches at this spot, Skinner. But the other spot I was telling you about, that's decent.
Yeah, this one's putting some resistance up.
That would be a limit, Skinner. One fish a person. Here.
I thought it was 2.
No, one. Ooh, that's gonna pass, I think.
Yeah.
Gonna be close.
That one's bigger than my first one.
Nicely done. The other spot I was telling you about in.
Yeah, so the limit's actually 2 per person. So yeah, I got my Blackfish limit. Obviously, I'm not keeping them, but okay. The idea was to do this to get through the slack period so that we could properly try for bass. So we're going to go back to that other rip, a different part of it. Actually, we're going to fish both parts of it, but okay, that's where we're headed now.
No mark, so 29.
Yeah, it's like this is a sweet spot right in here. Yeah. I mean, the other thing, I think even that first day, I'm pretty sure it was the first day you and I were here, we saw a couple fish come up on top. You know, that wasn't a top water day for us, but we saw a couple fish come up on top.
I'll take your word. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But there's no bird life.
Right. Right. I mean,
right when I said
the
that,
birds. Well, one bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
He saved himself last year at this time.
Yeah. These idiots were catching. They were in a different.
Oh boy, did I swear I had.
Look.
Yeah, I know. It could just be the bottom. You know, we're not going to call that a hit, but I want to do that drift again.
Yeah, well, we'll do it again. Look at the bottom. Jesus.
Okay, we did nothing in that first spot. We marked nothing. It was so dead. So we've moved 7 or 8 miles east on another rip, and we are marking some fish. But yeah, you know, again, no bird life, nothing around. So a few more miles east to a third potential bass spot. Like I said, we're scouting. You know, we're looking for any life. By the way, we only saw one other boat fish briefly, and I'm talking about a couple of minutes. And yeah, that's it. Nobody on the water.
Oh yeah, look at those heavy ones. Yeah.
So we are marking here, but again, you know, these could be porgies, they could be squid, or they could be something completely unexpected.
Yeah. Well, all right. We could just look over by the other red can just for the hell, only because it's there.
Oh, are you kidding?
It's not a striper. Maybe it's sea robin, maybe. It's a life form. It's a frickin' mackerel.
Interesting, Skinner.
You know, I haven't caught a mackerel in like forever. Well, we were never going to figure that out. Oh, holy smokes. And that's like that is a Boston mackerel.
That might be a good sign for fluke for a lot of things.
Look
Want
at
me to
that.
take a picture?
Well, we're getting a lot of pictures now. I want to get blood on the boat.
Yeah, I just.
5 mackerel. Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Well. Now we know what those marks are.
That's a really, I'm happy about that. Seeing what that was. And that's a cold water fish too.
Would that be what we're marking?
In a lot of places.
Yeah, so one more brief drop, and that was it. So, you know, we only caught blackfish, no bass. Like I said, this is the 25th of April. And these waters normally have fish by now, but we covered it well, and, you know, we're not marking, not seeing anything. So, all right, it's only going to get better from here. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, and check out that free Tide software I showed at the beginning of the video. Don't forget my books. You can learn more about my books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon.